Hi guys, welcome back to another video. In today's video we're going to have two separate gameplays using T.J Dillashaw. And T.J Dillashaw is one of my favourite fighters to use. Of course you can use him both in the flyweight division and in the bantamweight division, and that's exactly what's going to be showcased today. The first gameplay here, we're going to be coming up against a created fighter in the flyweight division. Obviously created fighters get a mixed reception in the UFC community. I'm not a big fan of them. I don't think they really should be allowed to be used online. I know they're capped at, I believe it's a 4-star, but just especially so I'm coming up against a Jiu-Jitsu created fighter here, and whenever you come up against these guys, you know exactly what's going to happen. Of course, Jiu-Jitsu, they're going to want to look to take you to the ground, and often or not, they are normally the cheesier type of players that will just do anything for a win. But the one thing that's annoying is that a lot of them have some moves equipped that are just purposely hard to deal with, like that really weird helicopter kick that certain fighters have. I know John Jones has it, Aljamain Sterling has it, Jan has it, and the created fighter I'm coming up against now has it, and you'll see that later on in the gameplay. But whenever you are coming up against a created fighter that is a jiu-jitsu specialist, you've just got to be calm, you've got to be patient. You know the fight's going to get to the ground, you just need to work off your back, look to get those deniers, minimal damage absorbed, and when you are back onto the feet, you're going to look to implement whatever game plan that is. So with TJ, I feel that he's one of my favourite fighters purely because of the fact that he can mix up everything really well. He can kickbox, he can box, he can mix in the takedowns, he's got great submissions, and that makes him well equipped to my playstyle. Of course, I like to grapple a lot, and my stand-up isn't as good as my grappling, but if I'm forced to stand with TJ, I've got the ability to throw off some decent combinations. As you can see, we're backing my opponent to the fence there. Hits me with a flying knee and clinches me. He goes for the takedown, which we deny, and I'm back onto my feet now. And the one thing you've got to be careful as well when you're fighting a created fighter is, well, as you can see, he had that kick there that's extremely hard to get out of the way of, is you don't really want to back up towards the fence like I'm doing there. You really want to control the center of the octagon and make the opponent come to you. If you're planted, you'll throw your strikes quicker. And as you can see, now I've started to realize that he's really trying to bait me in so he can rotate away, clinch me and push me to the fence, which is a very smart tactic to get the fight onto the ground. But as you can see, I'm being extremely patient here, throwing off some small combinations. I'm not looking to explode too much. He's really trying to bait me in here. I get sort of sucked in there, and as you can see, I instantly try to rotate away. It didn't work out well, and he gets the takedown. So again, there's my own mistake. I knew I shouldn't be closing the distance. My mindset was let me close it and sway away, but because of the way he swayed, when I swayed, it then pushed me back towards the fence, which was exactly what my opponent wanted. But I noticed that when I do get to the sprawl, I have made a video on this in the past, is that the sprawl is a great anti-grappling position. You can just sit here. Yes, you'll take some body damage, but it's very easy to deny these transitions. And as you can see, I make the mistake of trying to go for one myself, which of course doesn't end up well. My opponent denies it. But again, he's just throwing these little body shots, not doing too much damage. We get up here towards the fence. We take my opponent's back and we drag him down. Obviously, this isn't going to do anything. It's just to get, my own takedown in there. So that's the stats for the first round. I'd say that's definitely my opponent's round. I've picked up on little habits that he's doing. Of course, he's drawing me into the fence to try to get easier takedowns, which, is incredibly smart. I now know he has that helicopter kick, so I've got to be very careful. But I have noticed that my opponent is prone to leg kicks, as you can see, just by the way he's standing. And I'm trying to throw the leg kick there. He gets a good check. But now it's just about being patient. As you can see, he's throwing out these helicopter kicks now. I've got to be very wary of those, because if I try, close the distance and he hits me one of those, the fight could really change. Right now we haven't absorbed too much damage. Obviously, in the sprawl position we took damage to the body, but nothing outstanding. My body health is still in a good position that it can absorb some strikes. But you can see I'm being fairly aggressive, but also calculated. I'm not trying to get caught on the fence. He landed a clean head kick there. Just because I didn't expect him to throw it, to be honest. I expected him to go to the body. But as you can see, I'm trying to keep it at a good range, and he hits me with that kick. So, yeah, not the ideal way to start this round, and then you get to take down off the bat. And this is exactly why, I find created fighters are a problem, and a lot of people have a lot of difficulty with them, is because they have those weird, quirky moves that you wouldn't really associate with someone having that. So you're expecting a guy with, you know, extremely high level jiu-jitsu not to have all these really over-the-top kicks that are quite hard to deny and quite hard to block. But yeah, that's my personal issue with created fighters. I don't think they should be in the game. I get it's a cool customization tool, and it can be used for probably, you know, anything other than online ranked matches, obviously career modes, and etc. But when it comes to ranked, I don't think they've got the right place for it. But as you can see, my opponent's leg is really hurting now. He goes for that kick once again. We avoid the clinch there. And now I'm really going to look to target that leg. I know it's weak, and it seems that, you know, my opponent's constantly blocking lows. You can see there his hands are very, very low. And that could set up well for a nice little head kick. He goes for the takedown again off the clinch, which we deny. He goes for the judo throw. And as you can see, he's starting to panic a bit more now. He's really trying to shoot for these takedowns, which he wasn't doing before as much. He'd go for the clinch or drag me to the cage. But as you saw just a second ago, he went for his first takedown. And now he's just throwing stuff out of range. We hit him with the lead question mark kick and then go straight back to the leg. He's blocking low religiously. I knew he was going to clinch me there. I tried to duck it, but he got me straight into the tire clinch. Goes for that cheesy kick again. But now I'm sort of expecting that helicopter kick. And I'm just waiting. I know that I've done enough damage to the leg that next round, as long as I hit it a couple times, I should start getting those little knockdowns. And based off of that, I can either choose to jump on top of my opponent or let him back up and just keep ripping that leg and just get more and more knockdowns and hope for a 10-8 round. Because going into this third round, I'm not sure how the fight has been scored. I personally have it as 1-1 probably going into the next round here. I'll go for the head kick there, but he done a good job of blocking it. So we're into the final round here. If my opponent takes me down and holds me down, he'll probably win the round. As you can see, he goes for a takedown straight away. But every time he has got me onto the ground, he hasn't done a good job of keeping me there. It's been very, very, very easy to get up. And I find with created fighters that, you know, specialise in jiu-jitsu, a lot of them aren't actually the greatest on the ground. I think they just pick them as a way to, you know, avoid people getting on top of them. If that makes sense, they see jiu-jitsu, they're like, oh, they're probably good on the ground, so let's not do that. But a lot of them do tend to strike. And as you can see, I have got the stun here. He's trying to push me against the fence. We're not really letting him here. Rip him to the head a couple times. And I'm blocking, but he eventually gets me to the fence. And here's a very big moment. Obviously, if we can escape this, we've got 3 minutes 40 seconds to work with, and we do. And that leg is completely dusted. And I know he's trying to sway. As you can see, he's moving his body, so we go to that leg. Unloading a bit here. Straight back to the leg with an easy knockdown. And I'm really waiting for him to sway, and me catch him with the right leg kick. And I know it'll do a lot of damage. Lands a good head kick there. Out of range for that takedown. And I'm really trying to blitz that leg. Even though I know he's blocking low, I know that eventually he's going to break through. And we hit him at the perfect moment. And we managed to snap his leg. So it's really rare to get a leg kick finish on UFC. So I was extremely happy with that. My opponent, of course, should be changing stances, but I'm assuming he wasn't comfortable fighting out of the other stance. The stats are going to come up here now on screen if you want to see how the stats looked and how the judges scored the fight. Now we're coming up against a Division 20 Petr Yan, and we're going to be using T.J Dillashaw again. So the first fight was at flyweight, this one's at bantamweight, and we're coming up against a Division 20 player here. And of course, whenever you see Petr Yan, Division 20, you know it's going to be an extremely hard fight. Yan is by far the best fighter at bantamweight. He's definitely, you know, he's just so powerful. He can just rip your block. And as you can see, my opponent at this point is in Division 20. And I can see why, because it's just this overwhelming pressure trying to block break. As you can see, I don't let him get the space. I retaliate back and we get the stun. And then now we're on top of my opponent. And here's where I'm really going to look to grapple. Obviously, Yan is very good everywhere the fight goes. He's got that really annoying trip, which is very dangerous, and that's why a lot of high-level fighters use him. But T.J Dillashaw, as I was saying, he's such a good counter to a lot of these fighters because he's a complete package. He can really wrestle, he's got great submissions, and of course stand-up, he's got a lot of power also. And right now it's only the first round. It's a 3-round fight, which is very important to notice because I can unload stamina a bit more. We get my opponent into the crucifix here, which of course is extremely dominant position, and it's a position I've been trying to work on a lot as of lately. And as you can see, starting to land these elbows here. And the best thing to do is not have it in a pattern. So you don't want to throw like 1, 2, give it a second, 1, 2, because if your opponent picks up on that pattern, he can then flick you off, and yeah, then you'll have to start again and try and get into that position. So try and keep it unpredictable. It's easier said than done. Some opponents are just really good at getting that flick. As you can see, he does so there. But as of right now, we're doing a great job here. This round's definitely ours. And the longer we keep the fight on the ground, the better it is for me, because I know that once we get back onto my feet, my opponent is really going to look to blitz me, really try and melt my block. And that's something you can do really well with Petr Yan, just because of how good and clean his boxing is. Amazing switch stance, a lot of power. And yeah, the longer you're on the feet with Yan, it's going to be extremely difficult. And even if my opponent wants to look to grapple with Yan, Yan's got outstanding grappling. And when on the feet, he's got very good takedowns also. So, as you can see, my opponent reversed me. I then went into the sprawl. He now looks to take my back. And I'm just going to be patient here. There's a minute to work with. We get the denier there, which was crucial. And now I'm okay. I'm content with just being here. Obviously, we got the stun earlier. So I know that in terms of winning the round is won already. As you can see, he's unloading a bit here, doing a bit of damage. He used up a lot of stamina there. And we get back into full guard. And there's only 25 seconds or so to work with right now. So I know he's going to posture up, or as you can see, stack guard instead and look to do some damage. But no matter what he does right now, unless he gets a finish, you know, I'm very, very comfortable with knowing that the round is definitely mine. Gets back into stack guard, but the round is over. So coming into round 2, it's clear that the path for victory I want to take is on the ground. I know he's going to come out and blitz me. As you can see, we both touch gloves. I'll go for that leg straight away. And just look at the pressure he's going to start applying. And then he chained that beautifully. I did not expect that. Just good work from my opponent, and it really stunned me. Obviously, Yan is just so powerful. And look, he just threw 4 hooks to the body. Just absolutely didn't care. Just wanted to melt my body there. And I can see why this opponent was in Division 20, because I'm sure this play style really does beat a lot of players just because of the overwhelming pressure. As you can see, he's chaining the spinning attacks as well. And then he takes me down. And this is something I should have expected. Obviously, every Petr Yan player does this with that trip. You've just got to switch stance to avoid it, or, you know, get the deny off, as in like you would with a normal takedown. But he done a good job of getting a takedown here. But on the ground, like I say, I'm very, very comfortable on the ground. And I'm just waiting to see what my opponent does. He makes the wrong transition, we reverse it. And this could be detrimental to my opponent, because the only path of success I saw for my opponent really was on the feet. I just don't think he liked that when he was pressuring me, I wasn't backing away. And that didn't give him a lot of room to work with. So he panicked, goes for the takedown, and now we've reversed the position. We're in side control, which is my favourite position in the game. And if you didn't know already, T.J Dillashaw does have the Kimura, which transitions to an armbar. Now once I get this submission, it's very, very hard for you to get out. So while this plays out here, just want to say a big thank you to everyone that's been supporting the content as of recently. I think we're at 152 subscribers, and I'm really grateful for that. Any content suggestions, please let me know in the comments below, and I'll get around to recording it. I have got a Curtis Blades video that should be coming out soon, which was requested by a subscriber. I also have a Hamzat video coming out as requested by a subscriber. And I think they're the ones that should be coming out after this. And Usman one should be before this. So yeah, any content suggestion, please let me know. If you did enjoy the video, don't forget to leave a like. And if you are new, subscribe for more UFC 4 content. And I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.